Hi everybody, welcome to lecture 4 of STATE100. For this lecture we're going to talk about probability tables and relative risk, a measure of association for two categorical variables that are binary. So just to give you an idea of where we are in the course right now, we're still talking about descriptive statistics. So if you collect a sample or if you have a population of data that you've collected from a census, the idea is that we're trying to describe the data at hand. And so far we've talked about how you can visualize categorical and numerical data, as well as how you can look at categorical numerical data using tables. For this lecture, we're moving to the realm of associations. The idea is that when you have two categorical variables that are binary, it can be useful to talk about how they're related. And relative risk is a measure of association that we see a lot in fields like biology, public health, medicine, and epidemiology. So just to give you an idea of the overview for this lecture, we're first going to talk about probabilities, but we're going to look at probabilities from the perspective of you have a sample of data or you have a population of data and you calculate proportions from that data, and then you can treat those proportions as probabilities. That's a little bit different than how you might have learned about probabilities from, say, high school, in which probabilities were expressed in terms of games or throwing a die or flipping a coin. We're trying to think about probabilities in a more empirical context. And then we're going to talk about the concept of probability tables. We've already actually seen this in the sense that a probability table is really basically a table of proportions. And then we're going to move to this idea of conditional versus unconditional probabilities, and then finally to this concept of relative risk, this measure of association when you have two binary categorical variables. And with that, we will start this week by first talking about proportions as probabilities.